Can you watch that?
This is so weird.
Yeah.
That was a good game, Gia. Good job.
Oh, by the way, I'm Alex.
Yeah.
How you doing?
And call that extreme speed because we are already back. Going right in with Anthony, aka Dark Assassin, versus Patrick Smith, aka Coughing. He's moved on from Salamanders to Coughing. He's wearing a mask, and it's no coincidence that he's in Los Angeles. On both sides of the field here, we're seeing pretty similar sand archetypes. Interesting to note that 3 out of 4 of the players in top 4 are using what is pretty reminiscent of the Japanese sand archetype from 2 years ago. From Anthony, we have Tyranitar, Excadrill, Togekiss, Tapu Bulu, Arcanine, and Milotic versus Tapu Fini, Amoonguss, Landorus, Therian, Tyranitar, Zapdos, and Metagross.
Yeah, so both of these teams are, like as Kimo said, utilizing the Tyranitar. But what I think is interesting here is that Anthony doesn't have terrain control. Well, he has the Bulu, but what that does mean is that Patrick is free to just utilize his Amoonguss to the full extent. The only thing it's really scared of is the Togekiss going for Air Slash and the Arcanine on it. And that forces Anthony to bring 2 Pokemon that he probably doesn't really want to bring here because, I mean, Patrick also has that Zapdos, which is doing very well against it. So you would expect Anthony to want to bring the Sand Mode, but if he brings the Sand Mode, Togekiss, and Arcanine, then that struggles really hard against the Landorus team. So Anthony is going to have to sacrifice something here just to make sure that he's able to handle everything appropriately.
I'd say that it looks like Patrick has a slight advantage. I might go like 54 to 45 if you were doing like a matchup rating. And
the 1% chance that there's a double freeze.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of...
Oh, wait. We probably have some IR issue.
Double freeze. Yeah, they're probably just like knocking.
Nice. So, I mean, that gives me more time to talk about anything, really.
Yeah, let's keep talking about this.
I think the Amoonguss just, like you said, looks super threatening here, and he has a lot more tools to kind of supplement that pressure, as opposed to Anthony, who's kind of, it feels a bit more aimless, but within that matchup, you have a lot more potential for, like, tricky things to come out to catch Patrick off guard.
Right, because you also have the Togekiss, which it can do a lot of disruption, not only with the Follow Me and Tailwind, but with Serene Grace, Air Slash has a 66% chance to flinch, and that cannot be discounted.
I know, it's pretty disgusting. Even if you have Zapdos, Metagross, you cannot ignore Serene Grace flinching moves. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Though Patrick's Metagross can also go relatively uncontested outside of the Excadrill. Now, Anthony also has the Arcanine, but Metagross is faster.
It's fast.
And, I mean, it can ignore the Intimidate on turn 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Anthony has very limited options to deal with Patrick's Amoonguss and with Patrick's Metagross. So this is absolutely going to be an uphill battle for him. And it's just going to be about, you need to cover everything, but if you invest too much into one thing, you're just going to get blown back. So Anthony has to be very careful around whichever mon he decides to have minimal coverage against.
You also have to consider, like, the player sort of influences on these teams. You know what I'm saying? Both Anthony and Patrick are kind of stone cold looking players. Not really a lot of facial stuff there, not a lot of, like, personality to read on. And Patrick, knowing that they're both on that same level, has decided to put on that coughing mask to block his face even more.
Oh, yeah. No, Patrick, I mean, do you remember 2015 Worlds where we saw Tony, who just was wearing that mask and shuffling Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I mean, we're in a card shop, so Patrick should have bought some Yu-Gi-Oh cards and started shuffling, but I think it's very reminiscent of that.
I mean, the real thing to take there is that you should support your local shops, people.
Yeah.
Big shout-outs to Miguel, our TO of this tournament, just letting us stream, letting us do pretty much anything we want.
Of course, big shout-outs to Unlimited Gaming here in Norwalk. Unrated Gaming. Also to Unlimited Gaming.
Wherever you are, shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
All right, we're seeing Tyranitar Amoonguss from Patrick, while we see the dual sand leads from Anthony. Really depends on the sets. Amoonguss pretty annoying, but like you could have Taunt Tyranitar, you could have Move Excadrill, you could have Substitute.
The big thing that's threatened out here, of course, is Patrick's Tyranitar, because he's not getting a lot of value out of it. And I think that's really interesting that he brought it to this matchup, because you're pretty confident that Anthony is going to bring the Sand Mode just in order to be able to deal with the Metagross appropriately. So I don't know, Patrick must think that his Tyranitar is super valuable versus the other mons here, but I feel like he has to switch out his Tyranitar.
We actually see the other Tyranitar switch out first, going right into that Arcanine. You know, the Intimidate's kind of nice, not super important with Tyranitar. Maybe if we see like a low kick, but more for the pressure of Amoonguss.
Yeah, and also just going to be covering any switch-ins that come in. But we don't see any switch-ins. It's going to take an Iron Head that's not going to be able to knock it out, just barely lives.
Oh!
Big flinch.
Doesn't even need that Serene Grace. Going right for the Spore, the double tap on Excadrill. Just really not doing too much anymore. He's just sitting there, sleeping mole, about to get bonked in the head.
Yeah, but the big thing for Anthony is, yes, your Excadrill did get spored, and you did reveal Life Orb, but you have turns right now. Amoonguss and Tyranitar aren't threatening Excadrill too much. So right now, you could be free to just Flare Blitz the Tyranitar or do something else. You can just let Excadrill wake up here, which is very cool because normally a Spore can just be a death sentence a lot of the time.
Yeah. No, so, like, the advantage that it gives you in terms of establishing a position is just phenomenal. We see Arcanine switch out, going for the Tapu Bulu, not trying to take another Spore. Tyranitar really not doing too much to it generally, maybe like an Ice Beam or something, but Arcanine was just there.
Yeah, but this is a little risky because Anthony is not putting pressure onto the Amoonguss. So you see Lokick come out onto the Excadrill. It's not going to be doing too much damage because Excadrill is very tiny.
Yeah, it's almost like oddly tiny.
Yeah, so what Anthony does there is, sure, the Spore doesn't work, but now, what are you doing to pressure the Amoonguss?
Not a lot. You would need sub, maybe disable at the same time, a taunt.
Yeah.
Patrick's position looks really good, and Tyranitar has been doing better than I thought, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you could also, if you're Patrick, you could have another turn of playing aggressively with Tyranitar here because you could reasonably expect Anthony to try to preserve his Tapu Bulu because you don't want to let your big damage dealer go down to a Amoonguss. That's a little sad. That shouldn't be happening.
It was basically unheard of years ago. Going right for the Protect. Excadrill still napping. It is pretty late here. I don't really blame him too much. Z move right out the gate.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Dark
black hole
Inium
eclipse.
Z. I assume that must be hitting the Excadrill. I hope he didn't go for the hard read on the Bulu slot.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting decision. But yeah, no, this should be coming out onto the Excadrill. And we knew that low kick wasn't going to be able to knock it out, and this absolutely will. So smart on Patrick's end, just to get rid of something that could be very threatening later on.
Usually when moles go back into the hole, it's a good thing. They're safe, but that one just killed it. So it's kind of like against nature a little bit.
Yeah, no, moles are nocturnal animals.
Yeah.
The darkness should be powering it up.
I think we have to root for Anthony at this point just because, he is not disturbing nature. He set up a bunch of grass.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but, Patrick's Amoonguss isn't leaving much room for Anthony to be able to do anything.
I think this is probably the best position I've seen Anthony in this game one. Bulu Arc is kind of nice, especially if Arcanine has the power to remove Amoonguss. Even if we are a Mon down, this is a spot where we could see sort of turnabout.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's really going to depend on what Patrick has him back. But you could also make the argument of, okay, you don't need to switch in to a Wood Hammer. Tyranitar has already done its job.
Yeah.
It managed to take out an Excadrill. That's not supposed to happen.
No.
And I think if you're Patrick, you're fine just letting your Tyranitar get sacked, but he's not protecting his Amoonguss. Flare Blitz going to come out onto it, going to be doing a good amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough to KO at all.
It's pretty unfortunate for Anthony. Woodhammer's coming out. Easy removal of that Tyranitar. Very little recoil because of the HP that Tyranitar already had. Amoonguss is looking great because it could Sludge Bomb and Spore.
Oh yeah, and that Sludge Bomb's just going to be doing massive amount of damage to the Tapu Bulu. ×4, super effective, easy knockout, and Patrick Smith is up 3-2 in this first game.
It's crazy. That was a situation in which it looked like Anthony had the potential to create a 3-2 situation, and so we have 3-2 on him. Arcanine just was not able to pick up the KO on that Amoonguss.
Yeah, and good on Patrick for knowing the damage calc there. If I was him in that position, I feel like I just would have had a fear the Arcanine was going to do something sneaky I didn't know about. Maybe it busts out the Firium or it's a choice band for some reason. Anthony just brought that out so confidently, you kind of expect something a little bit more, but not in this case.
Tyranitar coming back out is really only option. We haven't seen a Mega. It's possible, but Metagross comes out, which is also a Mega.
Yeah.
Rage Powder now just creates a situation in which you're going to recoil yourself with Arcanine while you just bash things with your Metagross.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely, Rage Powder and then just attacking the Tyranitar if you're Patrick seems like a very safe play, unless Anthony has a bizarre tech move on it. But hey, It's a new format. Maybe
Totally possible.
bizarre tech moves are actually the best moves, and they should be standard. But it's looking really tough for Anthony to be able to do this.
I attacking either one with Metagross is just very safe because like you have a whole other mon in the back.
Yeah.
Probably something that's gonna be able to handle this situation pretty well.
Yeah, I think if you're Anthony here, what you try to do is just try to get a Dragon Dance up. Hopefully you can live it if you're Mega Tyranitar, and then you can Rock Slide, and then you can do things with Rock Slide.
When there's a Rock Slide, there's a way.
Exactly. So we're gonna see what. Yeah, Vimungus is gonna go for the Rage Powder, which is a very safe option here, and let's see what Metagross sets.
Ironhead, not a man that wants to miss a Meteor Mash, but he also misses a KO because he doesn't want to go for the Meteor Mash.
Flare Blitz gonna do a ton of recoil to Arcanine, but probably.
Oh
just
my!
barely not enough to
Hopefully
pick up
Sam can pick that up for Anthony. That would be a heartbreaker.
Oh,
is that Citrus Arcanine? It really is early meta.
Oh
my!
And that flinch basically takes away any chance that Anthony had, really.
And Sand ended on the perfect time for Amoonguss to just stick around. He can even just switch out, get a Regenerator, and come back and be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, you could expect like a Rage Powder and Ironhead, maybe a Stomping Tantrum if he
Yeah.
has it. And right now, this is just less about how Anthony can win and more about how Patrick wants to win. Like,
He should try to position it in a way where you get the most information out of Patrick while still, like, not throwing the game.
yeah, I mean, you could see if the Tyranitar has Dragon Dance, or you could see a move on the Arcanine besides Flare Blitz. Those are really your two main sources of potential information here. I feel like getting the Arcanine move is probably going to be the more likely of the two.
I like Tyranitar protecting, but again, we're just going to see that move go for it. I like the idea of hitting the Arcanine just because you create, like, the ha, gotcha situation.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's very safe not to. And what could it be in the back? Like, Zapdos, that wouldn't be good. I don't know if there's a mon that would be in the back that actually, like, enables Anthony to win.
It could be a Tapu Fini that's extremely blind, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, that would, like, even relying on that, like, it's rough.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this is less about how Anthony can win, and it's more so just knowing what Patrick brought so that game 2, Anthony can make the correct adjustment.
It is Tapu Fini. There is almost no way you're going to remove that thing from this game.
Right, but you can at least try to get information about what item it is, which is, that's something.
Even then, it's kind of hard because I don't know if there's actually a way to put it in range of activating the berry.
Right, I mean, it's more so just basing off of the damage it does to Arcanine, whether it's choice specs or not. I think it's the main thing.
Oh, no, don't do it, dude. Get that
Don't
information.
Do it. Get that info.
He doesn't want to. Maybe he has information that he thinks is more valuable than what he would gain from Patrick.
That's true. And then, I mean, in any case, the game was lost anyway, so we're going to be moving on to game 2 here. And, I mean, obviously the big question is going to be how Anthony is going to adjust, because, I mean, you let Tyranitar Excadrill versus a Tyranitar. You gotta, like, that's pretty good objectively.
Yeah. It's the Amoonguss that's the real issue. He
Yeah.
didn't have anything to really pressure it. He was... I don't think Anthony was ever... Maybe, like, one turn. He was in a position that looked dominant over Patrick.
Yeah, no, I think if you're Anthony here, you have to at least strongly consider busting out that Togekiss.
I think you have to.
So that you at least have something else besides the Arcanine to be putting out damage onto the Amoonguss.
It's rough. I mean, his answers to Amoonguss are Togekiss, Arcanine, like you've already said, and those aren't something that really enjoy playing a team with Tyranitar, Metagross, Landorus, Fini, Zapdos. Like, everything else literally bugs those two Pokemon.
Right. I mean, assuming that Patrick brings Amoonguss, Tyranitar, and Metagross, Anthony just has to figure out... He can make it so that he's very reliant on one Pokemon to deal with one of the three, and he just has to accept that. And he just has to figure out which one is the least harmful to him. Last game, we saw him try to say, okay, I'm going to ignore the Amoonguss, and that didn't work out for him so well.
Nope.
So maybe this game, we see him try to maybe ignore the Tyranitar, for example. Don't bring the Bulu. I don't think you can afford to ignore the Metagross here, but Tyranitar, you know what, if you have the Excadrill at least, that's a very strong option against it.
It's a little rough.
Yeah, it's an uphill climb for sure. And, I mean, the lead matchup is going to determine a lot, because Anthony needs to get momentum here. We saw that, I mean, look at his team. He has such a hard time getting momentum back outside of the Togekiss, and if he's not willing to bring it, then if he's in a bad position, it's hard for him to recover.
Here we go. Team matchup. or lead matchup, I should say. It's pretty interesting to note that as the battle goes on, not only do the players gain a better understanding of what's going on, but so do we.
Yeah.
Because initially, you know, I was like, oh, this is like decently even, and now like looking at it more, it's like this is not close to even. I feel like Patrick's got a pretty decent advantage here.
Yeah.
Same leads from Patrick. Togekiss making its appearance for Anthony. Togekiss has the potential to shift this game into a positive manner for him.
Yeah, because the reason we say potential is because Togekiss, of course, its main shifting mechanism is with that Air Slash, which has a 66% chance to flinch, which is otherwise known as very annoying. So we could, and the thing is, we don't know what the Togekiss is going to go for here. It could go for the Follow Me, it could just decide to Air Slash, and Patrick really has to cover all the options here. Because if Anthony can get into a spot where his Tyranitar is faster than everything on Patrick's team, and the Amoonguss is at low enough health, we could see a Tyranitar sweep here.
Let's just go for lots of flinching and Air Slash Rock Slide.
Oh, yeah, that'd be massive here. At that point, if you don't get a flinch, that's just unlucky.
I mean, the best way to win a game is by turning it into a one-player game.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it is a bad matchup. You can't really blame Anthony for going for these RNG chances.
Not even going to risk that Amoonguss, going straight into the Landorus, which we did not see last game. Bit of adjustment on Patrick's end. The Intimidate, pretty annoying for Tyranitar generally. If it has an Ice Beam, that'd be great, but Tyranitar, when they are Mega, tend to be physical.
Yeah, no. Usually Mega Tyranitars are utilizing that Dragon Dance set just so that they can outspeed everything, flinch really hard. We do see the Follow Me, actually, which is interesting, just making sure that the Tyranitar cannot be spored.
Going right for the Dragon Dance, just trying to create some offensive position to kind of steamroll the rest of the game, but
yeah.
Landorus kind of contains that a little bit. We do see the opposing Rock Slide.
That's going to do hefty damage.
Nice damage on Togekiss.
That's not as hefty as I thought it would, but that's still...
No, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, because now it's a matter of what's Anthony going to do to stop the Landorus from just doing whatever it wants.
And what tools does he really have? He has a Bulu, which like could work, but you know there's superpower. There's even like U-turn chip to cycle the Intimidates.
He does have Rock Slide.
He does have Rock Slide. I'm a fan of pressing that button.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bad matchup for Anthony, and I mean, the button's there. It exists for a reason. That's not it. That's a protect. You know, that's pretty safe. It's about as safe as you could be.
Yeah. The other Rock Slide, he's like, man, like Rock Slide.
If Togekiss can live this, then you can actually get Tailwind up and just or cannot live that.
That's a little rough. Yeah, I don't know what he could bring. I think it has to be Bulu. Milotic could be cool, but like I
feel like if he brought Milotic, you would have.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah. Excadrill coming.
And I mean, Excadrill at the very least, we know it has Iron Head, which can do a ton of damage to both Tyranitar and the Landorus T.
And it also flinches.
It also flinches. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this about Anthony's team, but he has a lot of flinch potential that he's just very unwilling to go for here. But I mean, if he starts clicking those buttons that can flinch, it can buy him enough time to get him a win here. It's just a matter of, is he willing to risk the game off of a flinch? And I mean, I feel like at this point, you're in a rough spot. I feel like you kind of have to. Iron Head kind of come out onto the Landorus.
Yeah, he had to do that.
You have to.
That did a pretty good amount of damage for what it's worth.
Ooh,
but that's not nice. Especially when that has low kick. But Landorus is gone. That's pretty nice. Get that ball rolling a little bit.
So you basically just trade your Tyranitar for the Landorus T, which isn't... It's bad, but it's not
it could be worse.
Yeah. So now Anthony is up 2 versus 3, but now he forces Patrick into the position of what do you have to actually deal with the Excadrill. We saw that Patrick had the Amoonguss, and that's going to be useful to take attacks and Spore, but if Anthony has something that can deal with the Amoonguss, then he could get around that. Unfortunately, he brought the Bulu instead.
Yeah.
And I question, if he had the Tapu Bulu, why didn't he get it in that last turn? You could have just protected Excadrill, gone into Tapu Bulu, and then you're just threatening so much more damage. As is, I don't know. I feel like Anthony needed to respect the Amoonguss a little bit more here, because if you have the Arcanine here, it's not over, but as is, it's so tough to just hit the Amoonguss at all that I don't know how Anthony will be able to win this.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought it was going for the Tyranitar. You need the flinch on that.
Oh, you need the flinch, yeah.
Okay, we're seeing the Z move, the old Bloom Doom. It must be going for a Tyranitar, and that's an easy KO if it is.
Oh yeah. It could do like a solid 20% to
Yeah,
Amoonguss.
probably. It's not soaked.
Yeah.
It's kind of worse considering that if you had to guess the Mon in the back for Patrick, it's Metagross, which is like not something he really is ready to deal with either.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the Earthquake, though. And I mean, if
It's
you...
grassy terrain.
You have a very weak Earthquake.
Okay.
You could stall out your own grassy terrain, and... I mean, that Spore is kind of the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I think so.
Because now the Metagross isn't going to be threatened by the Tapu Bulu. I mean, Anthony's out here is really just Patrick not bringing the Metagross at this point.
Yeah, but even then, again, what would it be that would make the situation better? Tapu Fini? I think it had to be Tapu Fini. And even then, you can protect Sludge Bomb and like hope he doesn't like. It's definitely a bit more mind gaming than Metagross is, but it's not guaranteed. And it is Metagross.
Yeah, there we go.
When in doubt, Mega out.
Yeah. So now it's just a matter of. I mean, we know that Patrick has Sludge Bomb, and it's uncommon for Amoonguss to use both Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain. So that means that Excadrill only has to worry about Metagross.
Yeah.
So maybe if the Metagross is lacking a coverage move that can really hit Excadrill, then Anthony still has a shot here, but that seems unlikely.
Well, I mean, what Anthony kind of has to do is hope for that lack of coverage move, protect the Bulu, and just try and wake up that Excadrill.
Right, exactly. And I mean, if you're Patrick, you're in a spot where you can just afford to play very safe.
Yeah, I agree. Sleeping, but no protect. Stomping Tantrum. That is, I don't know if that actually picks it up, but it should be pretty frail. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be enough to knock it out. And at this point, unless Bulu can pull off a miracle,
that would be quite a miracle.
Especially
down,
because of the Sludge Bomb.
Hey, that did a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, not quite miraculous damage, but damage.
But, like, respectable, like, see you later, goodbye, have a good time damage.
Exactly. And with that, Patrick Smith is going to advance Chuo to the finals, where he will be facing Giovanni Costa.
You know, it's pretty exciting. Like, it's interesting to see Gio play Sand in a different context, kind of.
Yeah.
The Metagross definitely changes a lot of that matchup. Tyranitar not being Scarf. It's interesting to see the transition into this set.
Yeah, because while it is a Sand team, it's very different.
Yeah.
It's not just full-on Japan Sand. It's more so, well, still Japan Sand, but 2018 Japan Sand, 3 years later.
You know, with a twist, with like a modernization going on.
Yeah, you have the Tapu Fini and the Zapdos, which can both be potent weapons. I mean, this game, I feel like Anthony just didn't have much of a matchup and had a hard time finding a way to get back.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, game one, he was basically on the back foot the whole time.
Right.
It was he made adjustments that I liked in game two, but it just was never enough.
Yeah, exactly. He just needed a little bit of something, and I mean, let's be honest, he needed to go for more flinches and try to get some RNG in his favor to start getting the tide rolling. Or if not that, he needed to be playing a little bit more aggressively and start making some plays.
Yeah.
As is, he was playing, I guess, very safe, but it's safe in a way that's always losing, and that's just guaranteed destruction.
It's not worth it.
All right. We'll be right back with our finals match. Stay right here.